Hello, my friends. My name is John Guns. This is E3. Man, I'm so excited. I'm like crazy excited today because I get a chance to share with you some of my thoughts. I'm presently sitting in my Richmond office at the School of Theology of Virginia Union University on the beautiful sacred campus of Virginia Union. It is exciting to be able to share this time and space with you every Monday. And so I wanted to take some time today and talk about maximizing time. Now, I've been really trying through E3 to inspire you, to motivate you, to push you, to prod you. And even as I'm living out purpose in my own space, I'm discovering how amazing God is as we open ourselves up. So you see this. Well, here, I'm turning it over. Why? Because you need to understand that you don't have a whole lot of time. Time is valuable. I mean, you're looking at this, saying hourglass. Well, notice time is valuable. It's never stopping. It's always moving. And eventually, it's going to be empty, which means you're going to run out of time. So what are you doing to maximize your life? What are you doing? And so I made some notes, and I want to share these notes with you. Here's the first thing. You have to see time as your ally and not your enemy. That's a mind shift. You have to see time as an ally and not an enemy. And you got to understand that all things are working within the construct of time. So you have to be able to see the positivity of time and not see time as stressing you out, as, oh, I don't have enough time. No, you've got plenty of time to do everything you're supposed to do. You don't have time to do things you're not supposed to do, which means you don't have time to add things to your life that doesn't match your purpose and your vision. The reason why time is your ally is because your life has been streamlined with purpose and vision. Did you get it? The reason why you don't have time is because you're trying to squeeze stuff into your life that doesn't fit who you're created to be, which means that you can't work a job for the rest of your life when you have a vision and a dream and a mission that requires you to sell your soul to that vision full time. Yeah, I used the right phrase. You got to sell your soul to it. You got to give your all to it. So at some point, you got to look at time, say time is my ally, not my enemy. Now, what do I have to do to maximize time? Wow, I may have to step away from this. I may have to reconstruct this. I may have to remove this. I may have to open myself up to this. But in either case, you got to see time as your ally. There's an amazing quote by Arthur Schopenhauer who writes, "The common man is not concerned about the passage of time. The man of talent is driven by it." The common person is not concerned about the passage of time. They don't really care. But the person of talent, of gift, of capacity, of dreams, of vision, they're driven by time. Here's the second thing. You got to make appropriate changes in your space so you can maximize the time that God has given you. You got to make appropriate changes, which means you got to do two things. You ready? First of all, you got to evaluate your life and determine what's working and not working. You got to look very closely, very carefully, very meticulously, and very strategically at your life and ask some really tough questions. Is this really working for me? Is it accomplishing the things that I need to accomplish? Do I need to readjust some things? Do I need to reconstruct some things? Do I need to redefine some things? Do I need to unclutter or declutter my life? What do I need to do to get the most out of time? Notice, it hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. And even if I turn it over, it's going to start again. Time is that. That's what time looks like, y'all. And so you got to evaluate, which means you got to create space. Solitude, write that down. Solitude. You got to create space. Solitude. You got to create solitude. You got to create space. Solitude, where you can go and you can think and you can envision. But here's the other thing. You got to engage in the kind of positive self-talk that ensures that you can stay focused on the things that you're called and created to do. Time is moving. And you can't engage in negative conversations and expect to maximize time. And so, in order to make the right changes in your space, and in order to do the right things, you got to reconstruct how you perceive and interpret the activity of time in your life. And then you got to do some incredible time. You got to engage in some incredible time of evaluation. But you got to be self-talking. Positively. You got to encourage yourself. You got to see the positives. Listen, one of the dangerous things is to engage in so much negativity in conversation, especially self-talk, until you set yourself up for stagnation, for delay. You set yourself up to never achieve the things that you're supposed to achieve. You got to evaluate your life. Look careful at it. And then you got to have the right conversations, first with yourself and then with others. German Kent once said, convince yourself every day that you're worthy of a good life. Let go of stress. Breathe. Stay positive. All is well. Convince yourself every day that you deserve to take advantage of the day. Convince yourself every day that you deserve to be successful. Convince yourself every day that you're supposed to be pressing through to do exciting things. Here's the next thing. Solidify and, when necessary, rebuild your space with skilled people who bring visionary energy. Solidify and, when necessary, make some internal changes within your circle. Whether you're owning a business, whether, like me, you are the pastor of a church and now the dean of a school, right? Whether you're an entrepreneur or you're someone who is an employee, but you're trying to build out a certain level of quality of life, you got to first of all solidify your circle, right, with the right people. But then you got to have the courage to make changes, right? I haven't always been great at this, I'll admit it. But you got to have the courage to make those changes. And here's what happens. When you do this, you give yourself permission to be stretched. That's one of the great things that's happening for me. And I must admit, sometimes, I've been a little in these last few months. But man, I made a decision, y'all, that I was coming back today. And I was going to have the best possible attitude. Now, I must admit, I love working at the School of Theology. I love our staff. I love being the pastor of St. Paul. I love our partners. And God has given me some incredible people, right? And so I get a chance in this circle to dream at two different spheres, two different polarities, two different opportunities. But here's the other thing. You got to always stay open to growing. And as you're growing, you have to, you ready? Empower your insights. Empower your insights. What does that mean? It means that when I look at a thing, I feel empowered through how I see it. And because I feel empowered by how I see it, I do certain things that brings about success and victory. Again, time never stops. Time never stops. So you don't have time to waste it in unhealthy conversations, unhealthy conduct, and unhealthy thoughts. Here's the final thing. Commit to a routine that will accelerate your progress. Commit to a routine. Right now, I'm sitting in my office, Kingsley Hall, on the beautiful campus of Virginia Union, Sam DeWitt Proctor School of Theology building. The building where the School of Theology is housed, rather. Here's the most amazing thing. The guy who's on the other side of the camera is a guy by the name of Ray Rouse. Y'all know Ray. Ray has taken a visionary faith move. 3 years ago, Ray began to talk to me about the dream he had for his life. And Ray is now walking out that dream. Here's what's scary. Until you have the courage to walk out the path of your life, you're going to be easily offended and vulnerable to envy. Until you have the courage to walk out your life, you're going to be easily offended and vulnerable to envy. But when you decide you're going to be who you're created to be. I had this amazing moment yesterday. My father, who's turned 95 on Friday, was having a phone conversation with Bishop Rudolph McKissick Sr., who's turning 95 in October. Oh my God, to see two 90-something-year-old preachers talking. It was priceless. But here's what I saw in both their conversations. They are sturdy, conviction-driven men who refuse over the course of their life to cut a deal with people just to get along. No, they both stayed committed to a routine, a process. They both had clear convictions. My father said to my brother and I, and any preacher that would listen, son, live above reproach. The older I've gotten, the more I understand that. And so a part of what I'm going to challenge you to do is time is moving. So you got to commit to a routine that moves you, that moves your life. And when you do, you will be amazed at where you will end up. Years ago, I committed to a process. I never envisioned this, but I committed to a process. Dr. Martha Simmons talked to me about higher ed. Never really entertained it, thought about it, but she did. Look at where it got me. Listening and then walking out the process. And now I'm in a circle that's very different from the one I started with. And though I've lost no friends, I've gained many more. Because your life will always move you where allies exist. So I've got great allies. I got them at the church, right? My wife and Cotton and Sharon and Vita and, and Matt, all these people, BJ, got all these allies, right? All these allies. And some of y'all, those who are watching today, allies. And then I come here and I got Laura and Paul and Kyrie, Denise and Pat Gould Champ, all these allies, Kim, and all these allies. Robert, oh my God, I got so many allies. Deans, allies. The deans of all the schools, allies. Provosts, yes, even the president, allies. What ends up happening is when you go after life the way you should, you discover you have so much more. So I close with this. Time is moving. Eventually, this is going to run out. We call this death. When it runs out, we die. Here's what I discovered. If you take advantage of the time you have, when you come to the end, God will just flip it over. And God will not add more time to earth, but he will let you keep living even though you're not physically here. Hey, don't waste time. Keep pressing. Hey, this is John Guns, E3. Love you guys. Be blessed. Hey, check us out tonight as well. A major interview with a lady named Dr. Melva Sampson at 6:30 tonight. 6:30 tonight. It's going to be incredible through the School of Theology, right? Come join us. Be blessed. Be encouraged.